Welcome everyone, and welcome to the people coming in from the Welcome Center and all of those worshiping online with us. It's really great to have all of you here this morning. You might have seen dozens and dozens of people out on the property or throughout the campus and in the building doing some cleanup. People are, believe it or not, having fun doing a spring cleanup because it's a great way to get to know other people at church. If you want to pop out there and do a little, you're more than welcome. Just, we get to know one another better when we serve alongside each other. Speaking of service and the building, I want to give a big thank you to John Wenske. He's out there now he was at the first service and he's out on the property right now. John is our property caretaker, and just yesterday we had electricity go out, which set off the fire alarm, which then disabled internet, which then made the big fire door come down, which also stopped the elevator from working, which also blew out one of the heating compressors, which is why it's a little colder in here and more like a sauna out there. I know there's almost like a cold front as you go between the two parts of the building. John spent about 9 hours here on Sunday, so if you see John, give him a thank you. Saturday. Today's Sunday. He spent about 9 hours here yesterday, which I guess would be, pretty rough, 9 hours on a Saturday, but we thank him so much for all of that. A few other things are coming up with music. On Friday, April 26th at 7 p.m., we have a piano trio. It's piano, violin, and cello, part of our Beautiful Savior concert series. This is a free will offering event, so that's Friday the 26th at 7 p.m. And then that Sunday, April 28th, we'll have a guest musician. Julie will still be here, but we'll have a guest musician at the 9 a.m. service, Michael Burkhart, who is an incredible musician. He's a friend of mine, a friend of Julie's. He's in the Lutheran circles of churches. He does more than Lutheran stuff, but he's right here in Southeast Michigan, even though he is world-renowned. And so he'll be here with us in worship, and between the services, leading a workshop for children. So if you have kids, grandkids, want to do something fun and musical, between that 10 and 11:15 kind of time, bring them on the 28th, and they will have a blast with Michael for sure.
My name is Ken Foudy, and I have been a member here at Beautiful Savior 3 years. This past March, I filled out the new member form, and it's been a blessing ever since. So thank you for welcoming me to be a part of this community. I'm here to talk about Micah 6 and the Webster Community Center. We had our groundbreaking for the Webster Community Center about 2 weeks ago, and it was a great event. A lot of folks, donors, the contractors who will be working on the project. We as a team, and mostly a few people, raised about $30 million for this project. It's a renovation of a school right on Huron Street in Pontiac, and it's going to be serving the Pontiac community in amazing and wonderful ways in the years to come. So I just want to speak briefly about some of that. I first encountered Micah 6 in 2012 while I was serving as a mission developer pastor for this synod, and was just captivated by the story of Micah 6. And then in 2016, I was asked to be on the board of directors for Micah 6. But I want to read from their words as far as kind of how this Micah 6 thing happened. In 2011, after graduating from college, several of us wanted to move somewhere that needed good neighbors. Coleman first moved to Detroit, where he spent time getting to know local organizations supporting neighborhoods there, including Central Detroit Christian and Leah Johnson, who remains a mentor of sorts. In 2012, doors were opening in Pontiac, and by August, we purchased and moved into our house at 32 Newberry. We spent a year listening to our neighbors and asking important questions. What is going well in this neighborhood? What isn't going well? Where do your kids go to school? Where do folks work around here? What is your relationship like with local and elected officials and police? What is your favorite thing about the neighborhood? After some time, we learned that some challenges in my community lack access to healthy food, lots of homeless friends sleeping in vacant houses. There wasn't much for kids to do when they weren't in school. After years of our listening, we set about to tackle some of these issues, including growing community gardens, hanging out with neighborhood kids, living in an open door to our homeless living with an open door to our homeless friends, and showers for a place to cook food. Our team has changed over time. We added folks, lost folks. We've had friends who've come and couldn't handle it, and friends that we couldn't handle. All while we loved fiercely the people that we've met in our community through whatever issues they faced, and we're seeing it change our community for the better. So that's the story of Micah 6. As we're talking about the first century church today and what happened after Jesus died and rose again and, became incarnational through the disciples in the ministry of that early church. The thing that compelled me to really engross myself into being part of the Micah 6 community was the fact that they were living the gospel every day of their lives. They moved into a neighborhood and said, okay, how can we serve here? And so the past 12 years, that's what they've been doing. And it's been a true blessing to be a part of that and to support them and to raise resources and financial means for this ministry. And so I just urge you, the website is micah6community.com, webstercommunity.org. And then if you want to be or see this community in action too, they gather every Sunday evening at 6 p.m. at 580 West Huron Street, which is Sprout, the store where they sell food to the local neighbors, because Pontiac is a food desert in a lot of ways, and so that's just a small part of what they do. And then there's also kids ministry that you heard about in the story that they have. It's called Summer Slam. At the worship, they do meals like in the first century church, where they actually gathered not just for a little bit of wine and a wafer, but for a full meal. And so they have meals there for their worship service. So, and then just a quick thing about this. I only have a few minutes, so I apologize. There's so much I could talk about this. But Webster, the really cool things that are going to be in this facility are there's going to be a business incubator. So for entrepreneur folks to come and have a space to work and to dream those dreams and put those dreams into action. Sprout, the food store, is actually going to move inside of Webster. Honor Community Health is going to be there to give health care to local neighbors. PAL with the Oakland County Sheriff's Office is going to be there to do sports for the youth in the community, for after-school sports and other kind of sports programming. A food hub, open gym time, indoor weekend farm market, cooking with kids, adult walking club, healthy cooking classes. They're going to have a commercial kitchen that can be rented out, and they're also going to do classes teaching people how to cook the food that's grown in the Micah 6 community gardens all throughout Pontiac. An outdoor play structure. They're going to have the art experience there, so they're going to be doing art and music for the kids in the neighborhoods. Accent Pontiac will be in there, and Kaleo. So these are all different types of dance and art and music programs for the community. So I just urge you to check out. They're on Facebook. They're on, like I said, those websites. And I can get that to you too. And then just on a personal note, the really powerful thing about Micah 6 is that, when I was going through a very tough time in my life, they took me in and gave me a place to live. I was at my most kind of broken point. I wouldn't be here today if it weren't for Coleman and actually for Pastor Nick too. They both basically saved my life, and so I'm ever grateful for that. So thank you very much.